Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here then hi, I'm MagdelineG. In today's tutorial I'm going to show you how to sew up the LYDIA wrap dress sewing pattern. Here it is once it's sewn up, and it is a lovely dress. If you're a fan of Bodycon mini dresses, then this is definitely the one for you. It's a very simple and easy dress to make, so I hope you do give this one a try. It is available on my website. There's also a discount code hidden in the tutorial, so of course you have to watch the tutorial to get the discount code if you're interested in buying the pattern at the end of the tutorial. And if you enjoyed the tutorial, then please don't forget to like the video, leave me a comment below and give the video a thumbs up. So here is everything that I'm going to use for the tutorial, and to start I've got my luxurious gorgeous velvet velour fabric. It has a 4-way stretch and it's absolutely brilliant for all kinds of bodycon and figure hugging dresses, even drapey dresses. So that's what I'm going to use today. I've got 4 matching threads for my overlocker, 1 top stitch thread, some scissors, some pins, and of course my sewing pattern. I also have a tutorial which shows you how to piece your PDF pattern together, which is linked in the description box and is also found on the blog on my website. Here is how I laid my pattern on the fabric, and the lay plan is also included with the PDF file. So onto the sewing. To start, I've got my back piece here laid out with the right side facing up, and I'm taking my 2 front pieces and matching them at the shoulders and sewing them together. Just placing a few pins here to keep it steady, because sometimes the fabric does like to move around. Once I've done that, I'm going to open out my front piece and I'm going to gather from this notch to the front edge. On your pattern piece you'll see that there is a notch and a marking from where you're going to gather, and it also tells you how much you need to gather by per size. So for this top I'm gathering to 13 centimeters in my size. So to do that, I've just done a running stitch with the large stitch length of 4, back tack, then sew, and then lift your needle up and take your fabric out without back tack in the end, and then pull in one of the threads. So I usually pull my top thread to gather the fabric. The next thing to do is to top stitch the front opening, so folding over my front edge, around my back neck and down the other side of the front opening. I folded that over 1 centimeter and top stitched using a zigzag stitch. When you're using a regular sewing machine on stretch fabrics, it's best to use a zigzag stitch. I've got mine on a width of 3.5, and if I'm sewing my side seams, if you don't have an overlocker, then I would put my width on 0.5 so that the stitch would look straight but it would actually be zigzagged and you'd be able to stretch your fabric without the threads snapping. Onto the sleeve, and I've sewn in so many sleeves on my channel, I hope you can remember how to do it. If not, here's how you sew in your sleeve. Opening out my front piece, I've got the right side facing up. I've taken my sleeve, which has a notch at the sleeve head, and I've matched that with my shoulder seam and placed a pin. Then you've got notches on your body on the front pitch, which will match the front pitch notch on the sleeve, and I've placed a pin there, and the same with the back pitch notches matching up on the garment and on the sleeves, I'm placing a pin. Then I'm going to match the edge of my garment at the armhole to the edge of the sleeve, which is also the armhole edge, and I'm going to sew all the way around the armhole opening. Once I've done that, I'm going to fold my fabric together, right sides facing, and match the underarm seam and place a pin as I'm doing here. Then sew up the side seam under the arm and down to the cuff with the right sides facing, and that's your sleeve sewn in. And of course you will do this with both the sleeves. So on the bottom of the front edge, I've placed a pin at that notch, which is where we gathered from, and I'm placing the front edge of my right side onto the left hand side of the body at that notch and placing the pin. And I'm doing the same with the left hand side, which is on the inside, so under, because on women's clothing the right side always overlaps the left. So pin those together, and then I'm going to take that to my regular sewing machine, and I'm just going over that with a straight stitch on a large stitch length of 4 just to hold them together for when I attach my top to the skirt. Here's what the top looks like so far. I haven't hemmed the cuffs yet, I will do that last, but we're going to go on to the skirt. I'm starting with the front strap. which hangs out of the waistband at the front, and I'm placing the two pieces together right sides facing and sewing around the edge and then turning it through. Then I'm going to gather this top edge on my regular sewing machine to 7 centimeters, which is also indicated on the pattern piece. Then I went onto my waistband, folded it in half and sewed the short edge, and then I folded it together with the wrong sides facing and pinned the waistband together in 4 points. And then I just sewed it together with my regular sewing machine, just to hold it together again, just to make it a bit more secure for when I attach it to my skirt. Onto the skirt, I've got my back skirt here facing up, and I'm placing my two front pieces right side facing down, and we're going to sew the skirt together from the side seams, but we're going to start about 1 inch below the hip notch down to the hem. Once we've done that, we're going to open out the skirt, and there's a 1.5 centimeter hem included. Turn that up and top stitch. And here you can see that I've done that again with my zigzag stitch. Now you can see why we left that opening, because we're going to wrap the skirt over and place the side seam, the short side seam edge from that hip notch up to the waist. Using this view, I've taken the right hand side and I've wrapped that over to the left and sandwiched it between the back piece and the other right hand skirt piece. And then I've taken the left hand piece to the right hand side of the hip and pinned it down. This is that when I've turned it through, the wrap that is on top will be from right to left, matching with my top. To finish the skirt, I've taken my strap and I'm placing it in the middle of my front piece, making sure I'm not pinning it to the back. You can place your strap anywhere, I just like to place it in the middle. And then I've taken my waistband and I've popped that over the entire skirt, and I'm pinning the side seams so the raw edge of the waistband is matching the raw edge of the skirt. Once I've pinned it all the way around, I'm going to sew this together on my regular sewing machine, just securing it so that I can sew my top to the skirt. Here's what it looks like once it's sewn up. Then I fold my waistband over so that I can match my top raw edge of the waist with the seam allowance of the skirt. So I've taken my top here and I've just placed that over my skirt so that the top is now inside out and the right sides are facing. And I'm matching my side seam of the top to the side seam of the skirt. And I'm also matching the centre front notch, which you'll find on your top pieces, with the centre front of the skirt. Now we're going to sew the top to the skirt on the overlocker. However, you can see that there's so much bulk from the gathers of the top and also the gathers on that strap that if we go over that with our overlocker, we might break our needles. So I'm going to use my overlocker to sew around that raw edge, sewing the top to the skirt, but not sewing the bulk. Then I'm going to use my regular sewing machine and secure the front part of the dress using a large stitch of number 4 just to secure it, and then I'm going to go back over it with a shorter stitch of 2.5 to finish off that seam. And here is the finished dress. The last thing to do is to hem your cuffs, which I went back and did after. Again, there's a hem allowance included on the pattern. I love the dress. It's great for parties, Christmas, New Year's, or any occasion that you just want to get dressed up. So I hope you liked this tutorial, guys. If you did, then please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Again, there is a coupon code. I hope you didn't miss it in the tutorial. So if you want to purchase the dress, the link is in the description box. See you next time. Bye.